You know nothing.
2019 World Championship bronze medalist and two-time European Championship silver medalist in single skating, Elena Radionova, spoke about the phenomenon of two-time world champion Ilia Malinin, an American. Ilia Malinin is a man who is already making history. I think he will be the first to perform a quintuple jump. Moreover, I heard him say in an interview that he is preparing some unique element. I think he is talking about a quintuple. If so, it will be an incredible breakthrough, something unimaginable. We didn't think anyone would even consider such a thing in our lifetime. And now it seems like we might soon see this unique jump. Can anyone stop him from winning gold at the Olympics? Objectively, Malinin has no competitors. The only one who can stop him is himself. He could lose the Olympics if he starts making mistakes. With a clean performance, no one can beat him. Match TV quotes Radionova as saying,
Russia music with no rules. Wild trust of...
Choreographer Daniel Glingos revealed what irritated him about honored coach of Russia Tutberidze during the first years of their collaboration. Glingos, I can say right away, there was one thing that infuriated me about Tutberidze, but with age and wisdom, I no longer get mad. I've simply accepted the fact that when arguing with a Tutberidze, she's always right. Tutberidze, and you just shouldn't argue with me. Glingos, but at first, it infuriated me. I know I'm right, but it's impossible to prove. Tutberidze, it was just your youth talking. You thought you were right. The experts said on a show about Tutberidze on ACO. Tutberidze and choreographer Daniel Glingos told the story of how figure skater Aliona Kostornaia nearly slept through her free skate at the 2019 ISU Grand Prix in Japan. Kostornaia won the event with a world record score at the time, 240.00 points. Glingos, Aliona decided to sleep through her free skate. Alina Zagitova and I were already warming up. Everyone was trying to call. They were already contacting the federation. Alina had already finished warming up. Tutberidze, there was no way she would have even made it to the warm-up. We kept calling, but she didn't pick up. We got through to the hotel receptionist, and she answered, "What? I'm asleep." She immediately went downstairs and got dressed in a taxi. The taxi driver was dumbfounded. I went down to her, she ran to put on her skates, and I paid for the taxi so as not to waste time. But she went out on the ice without warming up. Experts said on the ACO show about Tutberidze. Daniel Glingos shared a memory of how he and figure skater Anna Gorbacheva had to climb over a fence to return to the hotel after competing at the French Grand Prix. It was during COVID. Anya and Aliona were there, at the French Grand Prix. It was still a bubble. No one was allowed out of the hotel. You could only leave, take the shuttle to the rink, and go to the rink. The competition was over, the exhibition performances, and I arrived at the rink. Aliona was, I think, in the first half. Anya won and was in the second half, finishing up. I was at the rink, and Anya called me and said, "Daniel Markovich, there's no bus." I said, "Why should there be one?" Smiles. She said, "It runs every half hour." I said, "Didn't you want to check the schedule? The last bus left an hour ago." She decided to go back and arrived just before her exit. We were in the bubble, but what's there to lie about? I had to break it to make it in time. I ran out of the rink, took a taxi, drove to the hotel, and picked her up there. The hardest part was getting back in without people noticing us entering, breaking the bubble. And we climbed over some fence so no one would see us, so we could get into the rink behind the security guards, behind the barrier. Laughs, Glingos said in the New Year's special episode of the ACO show. Tutberidze recounted how, on the recommendation of Olympic ice dancing silver medalist and choreographer Ilya Averbik, she decided to work with choreographer Daniel Glingos. I called Averbik and said, "Ilya, I need someone who can help me with my choreography and skating." He said, "I have someone who really helps me with my choreography, but we're taking a break right now." I said, "Give him to me." Daniel showed up, still very young, and didn't want anything for the rest of his life. All young people want to try things out. "I'll work here now, then I'll do this." But I needed him to come and stay. It's bad when they come, try things out, and then leave. Daniel started working, and I liked it. I called Ilyusha and said, "Ilyusha, we're friendly, but I have a request for you. Don't offer Daniel Markovich any work this summer." I didn't know whether he'd do it or not. He'd said Daniel was helping him so much. The time came, Daniel Markovich showed up at work, looking upset. They're already offering everyone contracts. And I thought, So, Ilyusha kept his word after all, Tutberidze said. Producer Yana Rakovskaya, the wife of two-time Olympic champion and coach of Jenny Plushenko, expressed her opinion on Irina Kostolieva's current behavior. Have you heard that Irina Kostolieva is writing sharply negative comments about Evgeny Plushenko, his school, and the athletes, while her daughter is skating in your show Sleeping Beauty? What a short-sighted mother, spitting in a well from which she drinks immediately. As far as I know, our shows are the family's only income right now. Well, we'll rise to the occasion. Life is a long-distance race. We'll see where the road takes such a mother. I'm even curious to see the outcome of this play. But we'll take a different path. It's not our style to respond to such people in chat rooms and on fences. Our lawyers know their job well. The experience with one storytelling mother didn't teach me anything, laughs. Sport24 quotes Rakovskaya saying. The 14-year-old figure skater will be training with Sofia Fenko. Will she be able to compete with the senior quad skater Gorbacheva? So the high-profile conflict between Evgeny Plushenko and Elena Kostolieva's mother has ended. The two-time Olympic champion's successful partnership with the talented quad skater was terminated at the initiative of the coaching team. Plushenko became Kostolieva's 14th coach. Who will be next? The partnership between Evgeny Plushenko and Elena Kostolieva was quite fruitful. Under his guidance, the 14-year-old figure skater became widely known among fans and experts, and won several significant medals at the junior level, including gold at the national championship. The reigning Russian champion steadily improved and increased the number of ultra-C moves in her programs, which, incidentally, became more complex and profound. However, conflicts with her mother prevented the athlete from fully realizing her boundless talent. Irina Kostolieva, continuing her tradition of unethical communication with coaches, entered into a confrontation with the Angels of Plushenko. Initially, the two-time Olympic champion tried to defend Lena and establish a peaceful relationship with her mother, but this had no effect. Therefore, Evgeny Viktorovich began commenting on the situation, his rhetoric becoming increasingly harsh. The climax came when the mother accused her of cruelty to her daughter, who was subjected to psychological attacks for the slightest slip-up on the ice and less than perfect athletic form throughout the season. The elder Kostolieva was banned from the academy's rink for systematic violations of public order, swearing and insulting coaches, athletes, and their parents, using physical force against a figure skater, and slandering the media. After this, it seemed the termination of her contract with the coach was irreversible, but a last hope remained. Alas, the miracle did not happen, nerves gave out, and the end of their collaboration was announced. The time has come when, with great regret, I must inform you that our journey with Lena Kostolieva is over for now. God knows that my entire team and I fought for her to the end. We endured, we made concessions, we accommodated, we turned a blind eye and a deaf ear, but as it turns out, sometimes not everything depends on the athlete, the coach, and the entire team. I know how much pain and heart it is for Lena right now, but there are conditions that are devoid of common sense, which we will never agree to, the two-time Olympic champion wrote, noting that he will never stop supporting Kostolieva Jr. However, the coach can't be accused of lack of willpower. He repeatedly said he was trying to reach out to the athlete's mother, but the situation didn't improve. I've been coaching for 8 years and have been in professional sports for over 25 years. However, I've never experienced such hell. It's savagery for any sport, he said. Ultimately, the skaters' parents were forced to leave the Angels facility, after which they returned to their native Voronezh with their daughter. Plushenko became Kostolieva's 14th coach, but the identity of the 15th, the milestone, remained a secret until a certain point. Eventually, word emerged that Lena had transferred to Sofia Fenko's coaching staff. The coach confirmed this, saying she had met with Irina and her daughter to discuss the terms of their collaboration and the preparation plan for their first major competition, the Russian Junior Championships. We hadn't met before, but of course, I follow top junior skaters, so I knew about her athletic career. Does Irina's story scare me? Not at all. In my free time, I read books, not figure skating chats. It's entertainment for the parents in the stands, Fenko commented on the situation in an interview with Sport24. Fans who closely followed the developments were amazed by Sofia's courage, who, in essence, accepted a serious challenge to cope not only with an athlete who was suffering from a serious injury and was approaching puberty, but also with a person whose public statements had ruined relationships with more than a dozen coaches. Currently, Kostornaia lives at Fenko's home, as does another of her students, Alina Gorbacheva. It's worth noting that both skaters are proficient in ultra-C jumps, and the first jump Lina restored at the Triumph Academy was a quadruple salchow, Alina's signature move. The arrival of a talented junior will increase the level of competition on the ice, which will benefit both Kostornaia and Gorbacheva. The former needs to have a role model of mature conscious skating, while the latter needs incentive to learn new quads and stabilize her existing quad. Alina and I discussed this even before I met the Kostornaivs. And Alina said she would be very happy if Lina trained in our group. I've always wanted to coach a strong group, so I could have many top athletes. I believe Alina and Lina will be excellent role models for my younger skaters, who still have a lot to learn. Sport24 quotes Plushenko as saying, "So, the transfer has already taken place, and Lina will be approaching the national championship with a new coach." However, there is some dissatisfaction with the move, not from her previous coach, which would have been more logical, but from the Russian Figure Skating Federation. Anton Sakharilidze, president of the Russian Figure Skating Federation, criticized the coaching change outside the transfer window. The federation does not support mid-season transfers. "We have a so-called transfer window, which closes in the spring, in May, when athletes can transfer both from a regional federation to another federation, and from one coach to another. It's unfortunate that this transfer took place outside the transfer window," Sakharilidze told TASS, though he made no suggestion that officials would somehow impede Kostornaia's training at the new school. One can only hope that this time Lina has truly found her coach. After all, Russian juniors will soon be able to compete internationally, and Kostornaia, as one of the strongest, will need serious training with an experienced coach. Alina Gorbacheva, the 2025 Russian Figure Skating Championships bronze medalist in single skating, announced that she had successfully undergone surgery in Germany. The athlete had been experiencing meniscus issues. She sustained the injury during training. "Thank you to everyone who is worried and supporting me. The surgery went according to plan, and I'll be in the clinic for a couple more days," Gorbacheva wrote on her Telegram channel. Due to a leg injury, Alina Gorbacheva missed the 2026 Russian Figure Skating Championships, which took place from December 18 to 21 in St. Petersburg. Gorbacheva is 18 years old. She is a silver medalist of the Russian Cup Final 2025, winner of the Russian Junior Championship 2023,